Hello everyone, and welcome back to WolfQuest The Lost Tales, and we are here with Quartz, who's making good headway on his mission to kind of test his strength here. Now, these test of strength challenges are a little bit more gamey, I guess you could say, than most of our challenges, or at least than realism. They're on the gamier side of what we do here, but they are kind of fun to just test the limits of the game itself. There's a Cougar here! Hello, we don't actually need to take down a Cougar. Okay, this one's gonna fight us. I wonder if we could, let's see if we can herd this bull. This is a completely extraneous challenge. I am just absolutely curious to see whether or not we can get these guys to fight, because if we can get this bull elk here to attack that Cougar, that would be insane. I mean, we've managed to kill cougars by chasing them through an elk herd before, but it'd be kind of interesting if you could get the elk to actually attack the cougar. I just want to see if this is possible, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I can't not mess around with this, guys. So that cougar is making progress eating that elk carcass there, but we'll see. I don't know if and I wonder if the cougar will attack the elk too. Alright, keep going, buddy. Keep backing up. Oh, he's getting a little conflicted here. We gotta keep getting closer, keep pushing him back. And then when we back up, he should turn and attack the cougar, right? Okay. Is he? No. He's not. If we get him really close, I'm just curious to see what will happen here. No, get closer. I want to see them fight. Well, we know they'll chase a running cougar, but we don't know... Or, like, they'll attack a running cougar, but I guess here he wants to get away more than anything. And the cougar doesn't seem to care, so... And now he's just freaking out because he's too close to too many predators. This is not what he wanted. Yeah, he's gonna try to back away rather than fight back. I guess you'd have to get him really close, and we're probably gonna get kicked if we try to do that. But we'll chase the cougar off even if we don't, so we gotta get even a little bit closer here. Oh, he kicked us, yeah. So, is he going to... No, he's still trying to back away. Aw, darn it. I was hoping you could kind of use that to, I was hoping you could use that to your advantage here, so we're gonna chase the cougar. Oh, and I almost got myself in trouble there. But we're gonna chase the cougar. Ow! I'm gonna get hit if I'm not careful. We don't have to, I just don't want him eating our carcass. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to see what would happen there. Oh no, we did get hit there. Okay, he's still eating our carcass. I think we can take one more hit before we'll get into some real trouble here. Okay, turn around. Turn around. There we go. Alright. There we go. We're gonna get stuck on the sidewalk. I'm a little worried we're gonna die. I don't wanna... Oh! Okay, we made it just in time. I thought we were gonna get hit there. And again, this is random because we're not in the Defend Your Pups mission. So, outside of... Oh, and I missed entirely there. Outside of Slough Creek, it's completely random how many bites it takes. Oh, and there, we did chase him off. But yeah, it's completely random how many bites it takes to chase away a cougar or a bear. So, unfortunately, this wasn't a bear. It would have been kind of interesting if it wasn't. It'd be interesting to see how the elk react to a bear, too, but that means that we still have to continue on our mission here. So, I got a little sidetracked with that. We're going to head off toward the wolf territory over here and see if we can chase off the last stranger wolf that we need to here. But it's kind of interesting and fun to play around with those. But yeah, so... I do try to keep things more realistic most of the time, but sometimes we have a little bit more of a gamey challenges just because it can keep things interesting. And when you've played WolfQuest for, I think we have well over 200 episodes, I'm pretty sure, of WolfQuest. We have like, I think 70 or something of 70 or 80 of Lost Tales alone. I think over 80 actually. But we have a lot of episodes. Is that right? I don't actually know if that's right. That number feels a little bit wrong, but I think it's right. But yeah, we have a lot of WolfQuest episodes. So when you've been playing the game for as long as I have, and for as many episodes as I have, you do start to add things to kind of make it a little bit more interesting. But that's a problem that I really am hoping will not be as much of an issue in WolfQuest 3, because when you look at WolfQuest 2.7, it's a good game, and I'm not trying to diss it or anything. I love this game. I have put a lot of time into this game, and it's still very fun to play, and I love the stories that can come out of it. But one of the problems that it does have is that it gets really, really repetitive. Like, every elk hunt is pretty much the same. You're always going to take the same amount of damage because you really can't hit the elk without taking a hit back. There's just so many things that are the same. There's, like, no variability. And that's something that I think is going to be changing with WolfQuest 3, because all the footage that they've released, if you're looking at that, you can see how that variability comes into play a little bit, because it's more, there's more to it. It's not just, okay, do the same thing every time to kill the elk. You have to actually strategize. Oh, this is a dispersal female. Well, she's very light in color. She actually looks quite a lot like Quartz does. We'll interact with her here. We'll see. She could possibly be a good mate. I wasn't quite expecting this, but it's kind of interesting to see. Yeah, you know what? We'll go ahead and we'll greet her. And we will sniff around. Let's not tell her that right away. Let's not say, let's start a pack. That's too soon. That's going to scare her off. But yeah, I'll resume what I was saying before. After this, we'll go ahead and go through this interaction. And we will see in... after that, I will continue what I was saying. But we'll go ahead, we'll say, let's play. And she should say it back. So this is another thing that's really, really static in this part of the game. And that's kind of what I was getting to earlier, is that things are very static. They're predictable. There's not a lot that happens that's unpredictable, and when it does happen in an unpredictable way, it can be kind of buggy. So, like, getting attacked on the journey by a bear or a cougar and having trouble with not being able to attack because there's a pup too close. That's more buggy than it is unpredictable and interesting. So it does add a new challenge, but it's kind of more of the frustrating variety. So we're going to go ahead and I think we're going to name her Citrine, because we have Quartz and we'll then have Citrine. They both have a sort of geological aspect. And for those of you guys who are going, well, wait, Citrine isn't white. If we look, we can see her eyes are, I can't see them well now, they're in the shadow, but when we were there, I was noticing her eyes are this nice goldeny kind of yellowy, a little bit maybe orange color, and so I think that's what we'll say she's named after. Now it's really hard to see, but we'll name her for her eyes. And so we have Quartz and Citrine here, and we'll let them run around and explore Lost River. I don't think she'll help us too much. We also have to get out of this wolf territory. There we go. But we're going to go back in. I don't think she's going to help us too much because we don't have a hunting challenge, and she's not going to really help us with the predators or anything. But it'll be nice to have a little bit of company. But what I was saying is that it gets to be really, really static and predictable. There's not a lot of things that happen that aren't predictable. But like even in the I won't spoil it. If you guys haven't seen the beta log, oh, in Elevation, that's the pack that was over here. I couldn't remember their name last time, but if you guys even in the devlog that I did for beta testing, you could see how there were some interesting things that happened over the course of one hunt. And so we're going to go ahead and try and dominate this guy. And there was just a lot of variability and a lot of things that did not happen the same way. And so for as much as I love WolfQuest 2.7 here, I still think it's a fantastic game. And I still think it might be fun even in the future to come back and do some challenges after getting used to WolfQuest 3 a little bit more, to then come back and have an additional challenge like we did way back where we did, I believe it was Comet who had a challenge where he had to go back to 2.5. It's just, there's so much that of the gameplay itself that really doesn't change. And in WolfQuest 3, you can already see that there's so much that does change. And so I hope in WolfQuest 3 that it'll have enough variation on its own that each story will naturally become very different. And we won't have to add all of these extra little challenges And that will be able to stay even more realistic than we are right now, because if we played with strict realism every time, we would start to run out of things to do, and that's not really what I want. But WolfQuest 3, I'm hoping, will give us the ability to play a lot more realistically, and to not have to add these extra challenges in, just to keep variability. So that's one thing that I'm definitely looking forward to. Is I think WolfQuest 3 is going to add a lot of variation just to natural gameplay, and that will extend the replay value of the game immensely, and mean that you can play more just in the base game without adding anything onto it. Now, the one thing that we are going to kind of add are the perk system that we're setting up for here with Lost Tales. And the reason that I'm adding that is so that, well, for one thing, so that Lost Hills has a purpose to it, other than just getting to spend some time with the wolves that we really wouldn't spend time with otherwise. But, so that we do have kind of more of a set of guidelines for when we can use our rescue abilities. So, if you guys have seen past seasons of WolfQuest, then you know that we have sort of a system set up where our wolves can have the ability under certain circumstances to rescue themselves or their pups when they would have died otherwise, and the way we can rescue them is to reload a save. And of course that does come at the cost of losing some progress, but it means that you then don't lose a pup, or you don't just die and your story doesn't just end. So with that in mind, we've also... I'm going to pause a moment and for a moment here and go on a tangent. So we finished chasing off all the wolves. The only thing that we really have to do now is bears, and so I think I'm just going to kind of circle the map and look for one, and we'll see if we can find one. So I'm just going to run through the wilderness as I talk here. But you've seen that we have a sort of system for when we can say we rescued a pup, or when we were able to avoid actually dying. Now, what the perk system is going to do is it's going to lend a lot more clarity to that, because if you've noticed, each perk has a theme, and that theme will come into play whenever we have a wolf that would die, or once the Slaw Creek version of WolfQuest 3 or the Tower Fall version of WolfQuest 3 are out. When we have pups, it will come into play there as well. The perks will basically have a plus or minus scale of points in any of those categories. And how high our score is going to depend on whether or not I say we can revive a wolf, or I shouldn't say revive, I should say rescue a wolf or not. That'll give us a little bit more of a guideline. Are you going to be able to make it across? And I'm stuck. I'm actually stuck. There we go. Did you make it? Did you make it across? I don't see my mate. Let's turn on names. Oh, there. Oh, she's... Okay, we're gonna have to swim for it. She's got herself into a bit of a problem here. Are you able to get back out? Oh dear. Okay, she made it. She figured it out, I think. Did you get it? Citrine, are you okay? That log area is a little bit treacherous. Alright, let's go around. We'll just swim for it then instead. Or we can even go around to the other side and cross where the stream is a little narrower. That's probably our best course of action right here. But, with that, that's going to lend us some clarity as to what we can do, so it's not just, well, this situation was kind of hard to escape from, so I think we're going to say we can survive this. Instead, we'll have more of a clear-cut... What do I hear? I hear hunting music. We'll have more of a clear-cut idea of what we're going to be able to do. We'll be able to say, well, we have quite a high score in hunting right now because we've won a lot of hunting-based challenges and we haven't lost a lot. So because we died during an elk hunt, I'm going to say we can revive because we've been doing quite well in hunting up until this point. And basically what it'll do is it'll just make it a little bit easier for us to know when we should be able to rescue a wolf that would have died otherwise, and when we shouldn't. And that will enable us to keep a little bit more realism because, you know, in the wild, sometimes wolves have come back from something that would have been very serious, very dangerous, and sometimes they don't. And so this will give us kind of a means to not always die or have a pup die if that's what the game tells us would have happened, but to kind of get a second chance without making it too overpowered and without just getting to the point where it's like, oh my goodness, we can revive every wolf that dies because we have so many points or whatever. without that, this will give us kind of a more organic approach to it, I feel, and I think that'll be important for preserving the feel of the game. Now, it's going to take some fine-tuning to figure out how that's actually all going to work, but we'll play around with that more once WolfQuest 3 actually is here and we start playing with it. I do have kind of a plan of action for how we're going to get into, I guess we don't really need to go towards the wolf territory again. I started heading up there, but I don't think we really need to do that. But I do have a plan of action for how I'm going to release videos once WolfQuest 3 comes out. I'm not going to say too much about it just yet, but I think you guys will like what I have in store. And I do know how we'll be starting off, and I will be starting off as soon as I possibly can, so that you guys can have WolfQuest 3 videos right away, and you don't have to wait very long to see them. So stay tuned for that. Of course, as WolfQuest 3 gets closer, I will be releasing more info about that once we kind of know more of what's happening, especially once the game has an official release date. So I don't see any bears up here by the trailer. Who would have thought it would be a bear that would give us the most problems? Usually it's cougars that are so difficult to find, where we have... That's, I think, the one that we haven't been able to find all the time. We've gone whole series without even seeing one. We've gone through whole sets of the Lost Tales without even finding one, and here we found 2 within 2 episodes. Actually, did we find 3? We might have found 3, but we found at least 2. Oh, there's a fox here, too! Our challenge has nothing to do with foxes, but they're still kind of fun to just sit and watch. But usually the bears are the ones that are everywhere, and yet we have yet to even see a bear, let alone chase one off. So these guys are really cool to watch, too. But we'll leave them alone because, I mean, we don't have to do anything to them. We don't have to... Our challenge says nothing about foxes, and, for the most part, the foxes tend to leave us alone. So sometimes they'll steal our food, but it's a little bit more tolerable than the coyotes who do that all the time. The foxes at least will hunt on their own sometimes, whereas the coyotes, they like to scavenge. And yes, that is a very good survival tactic. It keeps them alive, but of course in the world of predators and prey, when you have a predator who's dealing with a competitor, they're not going to want to share their food unless there's an absolute excess. And so we're not generally too kind to the coyotes because there is just an inherent there's an inherent competition between coyotes and wolves, and we try to uphold that as much as we can. Honestly, in real life though, a wolf probably would go after a fox. I just generally don't because the odds of actually catching them are very, very low. We're not we're not very likely to do it, and so generally I don't waste time on it unless there's actually a challenge. And maybe that's something that just kind of got instinctively passed down through the generations, that foxes aren't worth the effort unless they're actually stealing your food. Maybe that's just something our wolves have learned over time. But I think we're going to head back to the city. We've come almost the whole way, and we have yet to see a bear. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little bit of a leap of faith here in the next episode. I'm going to start chasing off stranger wolves again, because I mentioned in the first episode that we'll have a possible chance there's a coyote. We're going to take this guy down. But I've mentioned in the first episode that there is a chance of being able to, wow, that was fast. But that if we chase off every stranger wolf we can find, and we manage to get all 3 stranger wolves from every territory, then we could potentially earn an extra bonus, and I will leave that up to you guys. But we're going to get started on that, because if we wait until we've chased off all the bears, or until we've chased off a bear, we're not necessarily going to have time. Are you okay? You got past the mailbox. I was worried for a minute there about Citrine. She seems like a sweet wolf, but she's not the best at navigating. She might be a little bit on the clumsy side, perhaps. But yeah, so we'll do that. There's another coyote. Oh my goodness. We'll go ahead and we'll get started on that, and then of course the risk is that if we don't find a bear, then we automatically fail our main challenge, and by extension of that, we don't get to we don't get to complete our secondary challenge either. Or I guess I shouldn't say we'll fail automatically, because if time goes by and we legitimately have not even seen a bear, then I'll leave that up to you guys, because that's one of the situations where I think we could vote to have a neutral outcome. Now, certainly in that case, we would not get a bonus, but we can at least have a vote so that you guys could decide if we have a neutral outcome or not, or if we do actually face a penalty here. So that's kind of where I'm going to leave it for the time being. We're now back in town. We've been running for a while. Quartz has gotten a little bit tired, but we're going to head back kind of to our usual haunt where we killed all those elk, and next time we'll start going around and trying to dominate some of the other stranger wolves, and hopefully in the process we will manage to find the bear that we have not seen yet. But we'll have to do that next time because it is time to end off here. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. But until then, this is Jay, over and out.